Monday morning. It's definitely raining this morning. Super wet, nasty outside. What's up, Schwab?
Yo, what's going on, man? Y'all already know what it is. Count time. Count time and street therapy coming together. We're about to do some stuff, man, that y'all never seen before on a college level, man. We're about to drop knowledge, right? But from a street therapy perspective, right?
Right.
Because we still want to keep that flavor. We want people to understand, right? That when you hear this podcast, there's no other podcast like this.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we coming from you, we coming to you from experience. We coming to you with some real shit, right? And if you don't want me yelling on this mic, man, y'all better tune in. Y'all better subscribe and hit that like button, cause we are coming, man. What are we gonna talk about today, man?
Real talk, real healing, man. That's what we do, man. Real talk, real healing. We're doing a college breakfast club spin.
Y'all already know. College Breakfast Club, street therapy, count time, right? So let me say this, right? Why is it, right, that we see a lot of young brothers coming to college, right,
Right.
with all this trauma, thinking they could just get away from the trauma by hiding out in college? Because a lot of times, we know that the streets of Philly is hot right now in Philly.
Yeah.
These YMs are going crazy. So a lot of these kids coming to school to hide in school, right?
Yeah.
Bringing that trauma. What can we do to tell them, like, yo, bro, you don't need a hideout in here, right?
Yeah.
To deal with that trauma, because no matter where you hide out, if you don't deal with your trauma, that trauma is going to creep up on you. What
Sure.
can we tell them, man? Like, to all these college students across the country that's listening to us, that's probably watching this, like, yo, what can we offer them to heal from that trauma? The trauma of the streets.
You gotta confront the trauma first. And one thing too, I always say you can't be halfway in, halfway out. Because that's where it come. Like, you be halfway in and halfway out, and then come here trying to forget about what's going on in the street, and then you check out, then you go back home, and then it's reality. So I feel like, that's one thing I would say, man. You gotta definitely pick a side. You can't be halfway in, halfway out. You gotta pick a side, because like, you gotta stay focused at one point.
But what we seeing today is not young kids staying focused.
Yeah.
Because dudes want to be YN,
Right.
but they don't want to live what comes with the YN lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know that if you really out there buck wild and you want to be YN, you gotta be ready to go to jail.
For
You
sure.
gotta be ready to die. You gotta be ready to be paralyzed. You gotta be ready to get shot. You gotta be ready, right, to jeopardize your family. You gotta be ready to even put your mother at risk. Because nowadays, these dudes, they can't get you. We're gonna get somebody close to you.
Real close to you too.
So I say to that, man, like, yo, listen, stop perpetrating the fraud, right? That's old school, right? Stop fronting. Stop acting like you're about that life. And if you want to come to school, just be in school. Hit them books the same way you hit them streets. Because the streets love no one.
It don't. And school is beneficial. Especially in the home run. I feel like you'll probably get more out of putting your time into like school, your education, than you get out the streets.
I mean, for a brother like you, right, that's trying to break into this podcast industry, right, on the highest level, what it took for you to get into this industry, right? Because at one time you wasn't always podcasting.
Nah.
Tell us about TJ before the podcasting.
Well, before the podcasting, man, I was a little lost, man. We was definitely in the streets. I was trying to find myself, and I went to this program to like launch your start off business and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was in a program, and I had just came home too. I had just came home from I had caught a fraud case or something like that. And
fraud case. You cashing niggas checks, bro?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Come on, yo, listen. If you missing that check, my homie got it, right? But we apologize, right?
Yeah.
Because we do not endorse crime in here. We only promoting education. But I want y'all to understand, right? that we not two dudes that just got up here and decided to record, man. We come with lifetime experience, man.
Mm.
And so tell us about that life, man. What scared you away from the streets?
Just having my freedom stripped away from catching that. That was like my very last case. So having my freedom stripped away at that time as an adult, like I think I was like 22, 23 around this time I quit this case. So I was like really stepping into my adulthood, and I finally felt the feeling of having your freedom stripped away as an adult when I had a little motion going on. So when they stripped my freedom away, all my motion stopped, and I felt that. So I was like, that's what stirred me away from the streets. And I went to the BTP program. I felt myself. I went into the construction thing. I said I don't want to do construction no more, and I kind of found street therapy, and that's where the street therapy came from, man. And
So
I've been doing it ever since.
so tell us about street therapy, man. Tell us a little bit about that.
Street Therapy 215, man, it's a platform for all entrepreneurs, all artists. I'm doing the interview thing. I'm getting the stories out. It's a mix of journalism, tapping into the traumas of our communities, spreading awareness that, in the community it's not all treacherous, it's not all bad, and it's not a negative light. And I don't want people just to look up to the rappers, the trappers, and the scammers and stuff. Like, I want to shed a positive light on people that's actually business owners and real entrepreneurs. I met some guys that was younger than me that have successful business. So I feel like that's definitely a positive thing to put the light on. So I was focused on changing the narrative and shining the light on the trauma that we experience in our community, from jails to the streets. I don't think like it be looked down on, but it's not looked at as a mental thing. Like, we mentally be going through stuff.
Mm. So for brothers, man, that's out in the street undecided, whether I get education,
Mm-hmm.
whether I get into the movie industry, podcast industry, because it's all to me, it's all the same thing, communication, right?
Yeah.
What message do you have for them, right? Because a lot of time people see what we do, right, but they don't see behind the scenes,
Yeah.
like the setups, the lights,
Mhm.
the everything. Everything we got to go through just to get a spot
Yeah.
to record. Because a lot of time you be going on a steady pace, man. Then you hit that bump.
Yeah.
You got that eviction note. You got that the lights got cut off.
Yeah.
And you like, damn, man, I was doing good. So what do you tell them brothers out there that's undecided on what they want to do in life, man? Because I remember, right, I was in prison, solitary confinement.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I knew that I wanted to do podcasts. Because I read a book. And I was like, when I go home, right, and I still have life sentence. I said, when I go home, I want to do podcasts. I want to do communication, because I noticed how the prison blocked the outside media
Yeah.
from coming into the prison. So I was
Yeah.
like, then I want to create a platform where I could be able to put whatever the heck I want to put with the click of a button, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mind was made up then. So I came home with a plan already written out. I just executed it,
Yeah.
right, to the higher extent.
Uh-huh.
And but I see brothers that's always half stepping, man. Like I ain't get there yet. Like,
Yeah.
yo, we 2 years, 2 months into the New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
and some people still haven't gone through 3 items in their New Year's resolution last year.
Right.
So what do you tell them brothers that's undecided, right? Like, yo, it's time to get on your mic, because I do believe in therapy, right?
Yeah.
But I also believe, right, that if you're not doing what you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't gonna work.
For sure.
It ain't gonna work. And
sure.
especially when we talk about street therapy, right?
Yeah.
Because when we talk about street therapy, people, we not talking about your traditional therapy that you sit with a therapist. We are your therapists.
Yeah.
We that people. I'm the person that's telling you, like, yo, you need to heal from this, right? Because if you're not, you're going to get shot in the head and you're going to get buried. I'm that kind of therapist, right? So what do you tell them people that are undecided?
And we understand from a different. I feel like we gonna be different when we doing this, is because we understand from an experience level. When we be thinking therapists, we go in there and we might talk to people that haven't experienced what we've been through. But it hit different when I talk to you, because I know you've been through the system. I know you've been through jail, so I know you can relate to me. So it's like it's an experience trauma bonding or coping or therapy. It hit different because I look at you not like you judging me or you don't understand. I look at somebody that like yo, you relate to me, you feel me. So it hit a little different. But what I say to the guys that's undecided, I'm gonna tell them what you tell me, man. Just do the shit, you know. If you want to get on the mic, just do it. Um, yeah, I feel like that's really all it is to it. You gotta take that leap of faith and you gotta believe in yourself and just do
Man, listen, I tell people this, man. All of y'all, I want y'all to see me in this camera right here, right?
it.
All of y'all had 31-year head start on me.
Yeah.
All of y'all. Whether you was born at the time I went to prison or not, you still had a head start on me, right? Because I really don't care if you love me, if you hate me, if you like what I do, if you don't like what I do, you or anyone else out there cannot stop me from doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is real rap. This is how I've been able to be successful at what I do. A lot of people told me 3 years ago, man, cut it out. You ain't never gonna make it in the podcast world. That's what they told me, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not? Because you've been gone too long. You out of touch with reality. And I was like, that's what makes me unique.
Right.
What make you unique is, right, that you got your own voice, you got your own spin, and you ain't trying to copy nobody, right?
Yeah.
So when I started my podcast, I ain't started copying nobody. I said I want to do my own story. Because I felt that nobody was telling the prison story from an authentic way.
Right.
Hold below, people. Thank me later, right? I'm going to give you the game. Now you seen the first formerly incarcerated person in America. Let me say that. In America. Right? To ever win a Pulitzer Prize award, the highest award you could get in journalism, an International Documentary Award, an IDA, which is considered the Oscars of podcasts, right? And still have a top 20 podcast on Apple. All coming from someone the fucking system said he couldn't read or write. So I'm telling you, if I could do it, I know you could do it. And it's the same thing I told you, like, yo, bro, you got potential, right? And then what else I told you? Stop trying, right, to be like these other people. You got a flow that nobody else could copy.
Yeah.
Because nobody's talking about street therapy. You know why? Because in the black and Latino community, when we hear the word therapy, it's scary.
Yeah.
Right? But this is not that. We telling you, as a person that served 31 years, as a person that been in the street, someone that been in the system, we telling you there is some healing for you if you want it. We right here. So if you want to come on the show, on the live, in the studio, let us know. We right here, right? But don't hit that channel before hitting like. Because if you don't like us, then we can't be successful. We can't bring you this material, right? But tell me this, TJ. What do you expect, man, from this new podcast that we're putting out there? What do you expect? You know, what do you want out of it?
I want to, like, what does it say? I want to spread awareness to the streets, you know, we like to call them the trenches, or the hustle boys, the block boys, or whatever. I want to spread that awareness to them, to have them wake up, for one, to accept education. You feel me? A lot of us stopped going to school, 10th grade, 11th grade. You know, we don't want to do the education thing, but I want this to help some of the brothers and some of the sisters too that's out here in the streets too. We gotta shout them out too, because some of them be harder than the guys out there. But that's just the reality of the streets. But I want everybody to stop shying away from the education, accept the education aspect, and also, you know, accept the therapy aspect. But I know the therapy thing might come over time, but more so the education thing, because I feel like, you know, if we had more of us that was on the block that accepted this education, or even just came to CCP, the benefit that they got in the classes and the resources they got, man, if we had half the block here, man, we'll own the block by the time we done at, you know, CCP or done with our classes. So,
but you can't get education without without therapy, man. And it just
Yeah.
don't work, man. And I'm telling you, right, anything is possible.
Facts.
Here you got a brother here that just walked into CCP on his own, did everything on his own,
Yeah.
on his way to becoming a college grad. How many
Facts.
people in your family has graduated from college?
Um, just two of them. Only my mom and my cousin,
You hear that, people?
and that's females. So I'll be like the first
Yeah,
one.
you know why? Because we got to break that mold, man. They say that females are more intelligent
Thank God.
than guys, right? I mean, shout out to my sisters out there. You know we love you, right? But we trying to, follow y'all.
Right.
We trying to make sure that we are in the conversation that some brothers are also intelligent, right? Because a lot of the times, right, we see education in our community. Oh, that's for nerdy dudes. That's for
Right.
weirdos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, who you think is creating these tech companies? Who you think is creating these apps that you on right now?
Right.
The widows.
They getting the money. For
Like,
real.
it's a fact, people, that if you don't learn AI now, you will be lost in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, AI is on its way of making more millionaires than anything else in the world. And we are in the trenches of that.
Yep.
We are in the trenches of that, right? So, for a person that been in the streets, for a person that got out the street,
Yeah.
how hard is it, man, to survive doing what you're doing now?
Uh, um, I feel like it ain't that hard. I mean, you do get tested, you might get tempted here and there, but I feel like it's not that hard because of the feedback that I'm getting from the platform, the feedback that I got from street therapy, and just being positive or just saying, yo, I'm cool off the streets. I was, at first I thought like, I thought niggas was going, oh, you nutty, you out of pocket, what type of time you want, TJ, like, But the feedback and the support I got, that's how I know it's a lot of guys out here that just want to be like, man, I'm cool off the streets, I'm done. So that's what kept me pushing. That's why I don't feel like it's hard because I got guys that I was really in the trenches with or really in them holding themselves with that's DMing me or responding to me or liking my stuff like, yo, keep doing what you're doing. Yo, that's what's up. So it's like, you in the dark, but whatever it is, you want to come to the light and just be positive or push a certain narrative. But you stuck where you at, and that's cool. So I feel like the feedback and the support what kept me pushing, so it made it easy. It made it easy to keep going and stick with the narrative.
So as you move today, right, what's your plan? What's your plan for the next 3 years, bro?
Well, the next 3 years, I want to definitely have podcasting and social media, like you even said, like the whole AI thing. I want to have that. I want to have that on lock. That's like number one. Number two, I want street therapy to be an in-house name, a household name. I want people to actually, know the platform. Definitely want to know the platform. And the third thing, man, I would say, I want to sign my first big contract, my first big something, and I want to build my program as well. I want to build. I want also the street therapy to be a platform, but also I want it to be a program for people that's trying to reform or just going through something or really need some street therapy. So
Yo, but you on the right track, bro. But let me give you a little advice. That there is really no big money in podcasting. Right. There's a few podcasters out there that making it right.
yeah,
And what I say by that is, right, you can make a living off a podcast. But don't think about I want to sign this big contract because that could clog your mind up, right?
mm,
I believe that if you do the work, if you put the work out, you're gonna get the blessings.
right,
You're gonna get the endorsements.
okay,
Right? Just putting this out, right? Because a lot of people don't know, man, like this podcast is a new podcast, the College Breakfast Club Street Therapy Edition, right? We're doing this to attract people in colleges all over the country, regional
Mm.
and beyond, right? Because college students don't have a platform where they could come on and express themselves. And
Right.
for a lot of people, right, they
Mm-hmm.
don't think that college is for everybody. Bro, let me tell you something. We got some YMs in college.
Yeah, we really
They will
do.
crash out on you real quick. But they trying to get their stuff together, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out that street life, right? Just because you come into school don't mean you out the street life.
Nah.
It means that you out the neighborhood for a few hours, you safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to change that. We're trying to let people know, like, yo, you come as is, right? The College Breakfast Club Street Therapy Edition will air your story. We would share your narrative, right?
Yeah.
Because we believe in giving everybody this space. So as we move on in this platform, what's some of the things people out there could look forward to?
Uh-huh. Exposure. I think we definitely gonna change the narrative. I like that. I like changing the narrative. I like mixing things up. I like people, looking like, oh, what's that? What's that? That's something new. And our face is gonna be on what's that's new. So
Yes, sir.
I like that, and I feel like that's what's gonna come from.
Listen, in other words, right, I'll keep it a little clean because we got children's in the audience, but we chasing that bag, right? And we're not talking about a bag of cash, right? We're talking a bag of success.
Right.
Because with networking, success will come.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I just want people to know if you want to be part of this here, two things you got to do. You got to be in the college, enroll. You got to be on some type of level, man, that's going to ensure us that we are not going to be somebody else crash out.
Right.
Believe it or not, I don't want to be walking with somebody and get shot at or shot because your dumb ass is out there doing some dumb stuff. The College Breakfast Club Street Edition podcast is strictly for my people in the colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a story, if you want to come on here and correct anything we say, yo, come on. Come on. Yo, we in the studio. We got our own studio here. We don't have to pay rent or none of that. We here. We outside. And we in your station. So if you find it in your heart, go out there, man. Go on Spotify, iHeart, all your major platforms, and like this podcast. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be fire in the coming weeks. We got a lot of guests coming on.
Cooking up.
We got a lot of gifts that we gonna give away. You know, follow this guy. Follow Street Therapy Podcast too. Follow the Suave Podcast. I mean, just follow us, man.
Right, man. For
And if you
sure.
want to be in the audience, DM one of us. We bring you in.
Yep.
We bring you in. We're about to have an audience in here. If y'all want it, but y'all gotta ride with us. We're not asking y'all for money right now. All we asking you is for you to hit like and subscribe when we drop a YouTube channel when we on the platform. Like and subscribe and share. So let me ask you this, T. You here recording today,
Yes, sir.
but you got your mini you here with you, man.
Oh,
How does
yeah.
it feel, man, like to go from the streets and the experience that you went through to now having your son in the studio with you while you recording?
That's crazy you asked that. Yeah. It just helped me. Yeah. My kids help me stay out the way. I got a daughter as well. They help me stay out the way, and I understood. Like with me leaving the streets alone and being more, just with the kids, I don't spend every day with them, but I got a strict schedule with them. But I understood why my pops wasn't there or other pops wasn't there is because the streets is not, it's a lifestyle. You get so caught up that you don't be there. So it's like me being able to leave the streets alone and being able to have my young boys with me or up under me, man, it felt good because you see them growing right in front of you and you see them looking at you, you see them trying to pick up your ways. So it's like it make you like, oh, let me not curse or let me just, move a certain way and let me show them better or show them something that I didn't get seen, or show them.
So you think if your father was present in your life, you would never have gone through what you went through in life?
Uh, I don't think I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have said I wouldn't have went through some of the stuff I went through. I would have just said it would have been. It would have just been like a word of advice, somebody to go to if you need that extra advice or you need that extra help. You know what I mean? Because I feel like what I went through, it made me, and I feel like I was gonna go through it anyway. Especially being from the neighborhood that we from. But I just feel like I didn't, if I had another male to turn to besides somebody that's 2 years older than me or a year younger than me, that I could trust or I felt like had a, you know what I mean? Because I feel like you gotta like as a dad, you got a sense of discipline in your kids. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like certain little things they don't want to do in front of daddy just because it's dad. So it's like, you feel me? I feel like if I had that little in place, probably would have been it probably would have been a little a different kind of turnout. Especially
So,
if your dad is in the streets already and he see you trying to be in the streets
right.
and your pops like, listen, the streets ain't what you want to do. Yeah, have a second thought versus hearing it come from your mom. It's like, mom, you ain't outside. How you know? You know? So I feel like, yeah.
So what message you have for the dads out there, man, that just want to do babies and run the heck away from their girls, man? What message you got for them, man?
Uh,
I mean, because listen, let's keep it real. A lot of these YNs just got babies and don't take care of them, man. And
yeah,
I get it. We ain't had our dad there.
yeah,
We ain't had our dads, right? But if you got a chance to be a dad, be a father to your child,
yeah,
man.
man.
Because, man, we don't want your kids following in our footsteps.
Yeah,
And they growing fast.
yeah.
What message you have for them out there, man? Just like, yo, get it together, fast.
Like Swab said, man, get it together for real. Shit, I met my dad as an adult in jail, in Phoenix, in the child line. I was in blues, he was in browns. So as a grown man, that's when I had re met my father. So it's like, if you a YN and you out here dropping these young boys,
Hold up. You met your father at SEI Phoenix?
yeah, I see how Phoenix on my way upstate at 19 years old. Yeah.
Wow, how did that make you feel, man?
Uh, it had me tight because my mom was always a realist with me. My mom always let me know what was up, what was going on. She never was like, oh, you know how they say, oh, your dad's on vacation, but dad's in jail. Like, my mom was
Right.
never one of those persons. She was always a realist. So when I got the chance to approach him, he was still like, lying about certain stuff. I'm like, I'm a grown man now. You just keep it a bean with me. I got my own kids. I know what the baby mama drama like. I know my mom is a little crazy,
Yeah.
so but he still couldn't, confess and be honest. So it made me understand like he's a nut ass dude.
Is he still in?
Yeah, he's still up there. He was actually at Phoenix for Rick. That's how I even wound up running into him.
Much time he serving?
I think he got like football numbers. I'm not sure the exact numbers.
People,
but
for all of y'all that don't know,
yeah,
right? Football numbers mean double digits.
double digits. Yeah.
I mean 10, 20, 30, 40, counting tens when it's double digits, man.
Yeah.
And no, I'm sorry to hear that, man, because as a person that spent 31 years in prison, right?
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of fathers, I've seen a lot of grandfathers having reunion, man, and
Yeah.
dudes proud to be like in prison with their dad, right?
Mhm.
Like I never had I never had the chance to even meet my dad because as many of y'all out there know, I'm a product of a rape.
Mm.
So I never really met my dad, right? Nor do I want to meet him,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
But I could just imagine being locked up and just bumping in to my creator, the man
Right.
that made me, right, for the first time in prison, and then you on live, and this is what I mean, bro.
Yeah.
And-
I
and-
could have crashed out right
Yeah,
there.
but this is what I mean, right? Like, a lot of times we never know, right? We out here hitting everything we can hit, but we never know, right, the end results. And the end result is you could bump in.
Right.
to that brother 30 years from now, 20 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the results could be different. Because now you wonder why you angry. Now you wonder why your mom doing this and doing that. Well, shout out to all the mothers.
Shout out
They
to
try to
mom,
raise
man.
boys, right?
Yeah.
But we all know mothers can't do that, right? They do their best, but they just can't do that, man. So you saw your father.
Yeah.
How was it, man? That he came up to you? You went up to him. He knew you was coming up there.
Uh,
How was it? You know, what was the first interaction, man?
it was just like it was like a reception because he was he was coming he was walking to his unit and I was going like to the child zone. And I know what my pops looked like, because being from the neighborhood, people like, you look just like your pop, dog. So it's like I knew what my pops looked like, so I seen him, and like you really couldn't like step out of the lines too much
Right.
or whatever. So it was more so like a little John. We locked eyes. I'm like, what's up, man? And he looked at me like, damn. And then I seen him again on the yard, and we didn't really walk the yard for real. We just walked over to the weight pits from there to over there, and I asked him like, damn, like what's up? Like how you been? Like it was one of those. I didn't really get into it until I had sent the kite. So once I sent the letter over, that's when I kind of like let him know, like, man, I've been taking care of this shit by myself until up until this point. My sister that you left behind, like, you know what I mean? I've been there. So now that when I'm older, like, tell me what's up. And then when he sent the kite back over, it was still just like, this nigga's still lying. Like, I even told you I'm a grown man.
How old is your pop now?
He probably pushing like maybe 48, maybe. My mom was turned 45.
I mean, so you gotta think, man, that a lot of times these brothers in the 40s, pushing 50, they still think things a game.
Yeah,
They
man.
still think like young boys, man, and that's that trauma. That's that trauma that they still living in. Like, I
Yeah.
remember coming home right after 31 years, right,
Mhm.
and I felt like I was 18, 19, bro, and in actuality I was 48, bro.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was 18, 19, bro, because my growth stopped when I
Hmm.
went to prison.
Yeah, I heard it a lot.
I spent 31 years. I know in actuality I'm not no 17, 18-year-old kid.
Hmm.
But mentally, when I came home, I was trying to pick up where I left off,
Mm. Yeah.
right? And the reality is, man, like, that was trauma, bro. And thinking that way led me back to prison a year to the date I came out.
Hmm.
I came home November 20th, 2017. I was back in prison November 20th, 2018 at SCI Phoenix.
You said you came home November.
17, 2020.
Okay,
November
2020.
20th, 2017.
Oh, 2017.
And I went back to prison November 20th, 2018, a year to the day.
Mm. That's when I had court my charge in November 2018.
So I get there, man, and I'm like, whoa. That's when that trauma really hit. It kicks in to the point
Yeah.
where I knew I was never gonna be the same, right? I said when I go home, I gotta take this therapy real serious, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with your dad. Apparently, like,
Mhm.
being accountable, man,
It's
is hard
It's
to
hard.
yourself.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm always saying count time, right?
Hmm.
Because, bro, it's time to be counted, man.
Hmm.
To all the dads out there, if you got kids out there that you left when you was running and ripping the street, it's okay. Go back and try to make up. Don't try to play catch up. Just try to be the dad that they want you to be, man.
At that moment, yeah.
No excuses. You wasn't there. You wasn't there. You in the streets. Your priority was something different.
Yeah.
But now that your son or daughter is 18, 19, come on, man.
Come clean.
Stop with the bogus stuff, man.
Yeah.
And man up. And this is why we here trying to just share with y'all, man, that a lot of times, man, street therapy don't mean, man, that you gotta go see the therapist. Street therapy means be accountable for. Street therapy means, right, I got up and I was accountable for. right? I met my son for the first time at SCI Phoenix, and I let him know, yo, I messed up.
I would have
My bad.
respected that.
I mean, because that would have changed the whole perspective, man.
For sure.
Like, I'm pretty sure if he would have told you, like, Dan, I never wanted to meet you here,
Yeah.
that would have been like,
Mm-hmm.
because now as you move on in life, you thinking about him,
Yeah.
right? And you spending time with him. But can you imagine you disappeared for
Yeah.
25 years, and the next time you see him, it's in a prison cell, bro?
Yep, and he in Browns with skate boots on and a net bag.
Come on, man. What type of nut stuff is that,
That
bro?
shit is different, man, for real. For real.
Yeah. So in closing, right, this one episode, man, again, where can people find Street Therapy right now? If they want to listen to your episodes.
Right now we're on YouTube, Street Therapy 215, Street Therapy 215 on all platforms. You definitely gotta make sure you put the 215. Yeah, man, Street Therapy _
Yo, you heard it right. And we also dropping this episode on True Crime, True Story Network, iHeart, Spotify, wherever, man. When you see the College Breakfast Club Street Therapy Edition, hit that button. Because if you don't, do not DM me talking about what happened in the show.
Right.
And if you heard it here first, then you know it's official. You listening to your boy, Swag Gonzalez,
TJ.
Street Therapy, College Breakfast Club Edition.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
I already know, man. Real talk, real healing. That joint was
Time.
dope, man.
40 minutes. Take a breather. We hitting the next one.
All right.
Take a breather. That's 40 minutes. We doing about 3-4. Listen, we dropping.
All right.
We dropping like they gonna be like, what the heck they going
on?
on?
Machine on the floor?
Who?
A vending machine.
Downstairs, I got some water in here though,
What's that?
in the refrigerator.
That's what I need some more.
I got some water in there.
It's over here.
Yeah. See it?